I mean, think about it. Do you know what the biggest problem with this new proposal is?
No. What is it?
It tells us the when, but it doesn't really tell us the where.
And what's up, everybody? Today, it looks like it's gonna be. It looks like it might be a good day,
This could
Luis.
be it. This is
This
what
could.
we've been waiting for.
They've been asking when and where all this time.
Everybody, man. That baseball got two words used to usually describe like a crime scene and what they ask you to put down. Like when you're learning to write, when you're
Mm-hmm.
learning to describe things, the when and where, the how, the who, the what.
Ooh, sounds like a Law and Order episode. When and
So they
where?
got pretty. So I guess you could say they got pretty serious about this. But
Y- I was listening to the Michael K show, as I always mention in this podcast, yesterday on the podcast because I live in Pennsylvania, and they had Jeff Passan on, and he kind of said that Manfred had to have that moment on Monday, that rock bottom moment for this to move forward. Um, and it sounds like he might have been right about that. And but I you know what, I think Manfred looks so bad. He loses more than anybody during this. Like I think the players lose, the owners lose, but Manfred is at the end of the day he's the face of the game, and in a time where you know where baseball had a great opportunity here, I think he fumbled it, and it's kind of not fair because it's not entirely his fault. Everybody's to blame, but at the end of the day, the commissioner's the one who gets the blame. So fuck Manfred.
I feel like the commissioner, that's like on the job description, become the guy that's going to get blamed for almost everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even in the NBA, man, we all think Adam Silver is cool, but Kyrie Irving comes out and says that maybe it's time they start their own league because they don't feel. I actually don't know why he would say that. I feel like you can't compete with the NBA in today's age. But even that guy's gonna catch some flack for
I don't
something.
understand Kyrie. I don't even want to get into it, but I don't
Let's
understand
not.
Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
It's it's like
let's segregate that. That would solve things.
oh my god, it just doesn't make any sense what he's saying. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever. I don't even want
But
to get into that. Yeah.
let's get into the proposal and more specifically the aftermath so far.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, let's do
So,
it, man.
do you want me to sound off on some facts?
Hit me with some knowledge.
So it's a 60 game season, 100% fully prorated salaries. Let's go. Come on. For all you players out there that wanted that full prorated salary, you got it, man. It's about 37% of your salary. It's about a 2% increase from the last offer. Uh, Universal DH. We got a universal DH here, so we're gonna get into that. And extended playoffs for the 2020 and 2021 season. Manny, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
They I heard that the universal DH might be expanded into 2021 too. So
It is.
they haven't agreed to this yet, but it sounds like Jeff Passan released a tweet today with a statement from Rob Manfred that said, quote, "At my request, Tony Clark and I met for several hours yesterday in Phoenix. We left that meeting with a jointly developed framework that we agreed could form the basis of an agreement and subject to conversations with our respective constituents." God damn, that's a mouthful. I summarized that framework numerous times in the meeting and sent Tony a written summary today. Consistent with our conversations yesterday, I'm encouraging the clubs to move forward, and I trust Tony is doing the same. So it looks like the word leaked out that they might have had an agreement. Ken Rosenthal, Jeff Passan, they all reported on it. Rob Manfred, then Tony Clark and the MLBPA released a tweet that said reports of an agreement are false.
Hmm.
And right after that, Rob Manfred released a statement, kind of like, Tony,
Oh there.
like Judge Judy says,
Whoa there, evil Marvel villain,
yeah.
Tony Clark. You know
We
what that
talked about
means.
this, Tony. You repeated it to me numerous times yesterday, Tony. Remember Tone? Can I call you Tone? 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 Is Tone good? I wrote you a summary, Tony. Don't start backing up. Don't start backing up on this.
You shook my hand. You ate breakfast at my house.
I drew blood from your index finger, then I drew blood from my index finger, and then we connected our fingers together. We call that a blood promise or something.
Yeah, joining the family. You agreed. You looked happy when you left.
I let you pet my dog, Fido.
Why are we having these disputes over Twitter? Is what I'd like to know.
Yeah, they're throwing this out to the public. Here's the thing. Yeah.
Why is there an MLBPA Twitter, making claims like this? Put a face on it and make a statement. Be a professional. It's Twitter, man. I'm sick of that app.
Yeah.
But it gets us a lot of information in real time. I'm not going to lie. That's the upside to the internet. I get it.
So I was trying to make a point. My bad. I completely lost track in pretending to be Tony Clark and Rob Manfred there. But that they're negotiating things beyond this season is kind of surprising to me because this current CBA expires at the end of next season. So in December of 2021. So why are they negotiating terms for next year? It's almost like part of this is that MLB is trying to sneak some things in, ahead of time, like the universal DH. It's looking like that's it. We've seen the last of pitchers hitting in baseball. If we ever have any baseball again.
Why is a universal DH necessarily like the owners pushing it? If I was a pitcher, if I was Masahiro Tanaka, I wouldn't want to hit.
No, I know, but the owners have been pushing for. I'm by the way, I'm for the universal DH. The owners have been pushing for universal DH for a long time. I don't think the players have really said whether or not they're for or against it. It looks like they're for it because it looks like this is one of the things that they're okay with just putting through.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I think like for all we know, that universal DH was just like a little way to butter up both sides, be like, hey, like look, we finally agree. I'm sure that there was a silence in the room when they said this, and everyone kind of said, hey, finally we agree on something. Like, look at this. Two parties can come together and agree on something.
That's true. And the other thing was the expanded playoffs. We know that players don't get paid for the playoffs, and I didn't see anywhere about any bonus pool money or something like we heard in previous negotiations.
25 million.
So there is? Okay.
25 million bonus pool money for the playoffs.
Okay. So, I mean, expanded playoffs, a lot of people have different opinions on it. I'm not mad about the expanded playoffs. I'm not going to lie, man. Like, over the last few years, the postseason is what people care about in MLB. That's when the ratings go up. That's when people start talking baseball and not fucking football all freaking year. So I'm okay with that. I'm not going to like when a sub 500 team gets into the postseason, but you know what? That happens in the NBA, and nobody says shit about it, so fuck it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. Earlier this week, I was like, "Fuck this! I don't even care if we have any baseball." And then this news came on, and I have hope again. And I just hope they don't screw this up, man.
First of all, it better not get screwed up because whether we like it or not, everybody was hollering that when and where crap the night before and the day before that, and in some different languages as well. So they're telling you guys when it's going to happen. I mean, yes, they're telling you when it's going to happen. Where we can speculate where it's going to be. So if this is going to turn into that whole, well, they haven't agreed on anything, and the waiving of any potential grievances seems to be part of the agreement. So we don't know yet, but you guys were asking for it. This is it. So it better happen. Yeah, I'm excited. But I was in the same boat last week.
The other thing too is that 3 states are seeing record increases in COVID-19: Texas, Florida, and Arizona. So, and I just feel like people have given up. Like I feel like definitely. I go places and people are just not even wearing masks anymore and shit. So that kind of scares me because I also don't want the season to start for it to be shut down again. I know that Cuomo has considered maybe rolling back some of the things that he opened up, because I don't know if you saw the tweets and stuff this weekend, but in St. Mark's Place downtown, it was insane, man. The amount of people outdoors, like, and no masks. It's insane.
Yep.
So people, they're close to making an agreement. It wasn't that long ago that there was like 800, 1,000 people dying in New York City a day. Let's chill out a little bit. Keep wearing
Yeah,
your mask. It's not over
baseball's at
yet.
baseball's at stake here. So
Yeah, for real. Like
if
we're
you
we're
didn't
getting close here.
if you didn't care before when all these people were dying, care now that baseball might come back, and please
Wow.
just do this for us. Wear
Yeah.
masks.
I need it, people. I need it. I need it, man. Um. Yeah. So I hope they're not fucking with us again, man. They keep playing with my emotions here.
No,
Um.
but honestly though, let's go. Let's all these players that are the only vocal ones in the league with the when and where stuff. Mike Trout is the
mhm.
common man's hero. When and where.
Let me get my pen here because I know I'm gonna have a rebuttal.
There's a there's a proposal in place after the when and where. I'd like to call this the when and where proposal. So they're giving it to you guys. If this doesn't get agreed upon, then I got to question who is making these decisions for the players, and is it including the majority? Because I think that if they took a poll today, a majority of players would have been agreed to this current proposal. I
You
think.
think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that these players are the most vocal because they're the ones that have the largest platform. So, like, if Zach Gallen, who we've been trying to get on this podcast, ever, we should put this on Instagram, by the way, ever says something like this, nobody's gonna listen because who's Zach Gallen? You know what I mean? Um,
Okay.
catch my
Well,
catch my drift here. So it has to be guys like Mike Trout and guys like Bryce Harper. That say something. They're the ones that have the largest platforms.
yeah, but what I'm saying is that when you have such a large population like MLB players and all the new guys that are going to fill in the roster slots for the first couple of weeks or however it's going to play out, I don't know. If you took a poll for everyone's like opinion based on how the circumstances are, I think you'd be surprised that not everybody agrees with this full prorated salaries. Maybe they did want to play more games. Who knows? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's just because there's some vocal people and they're all agreeing on the same thing. I think that opens us up to be vulnerable. That there could
Yeah,
be other things that play that hasn't been agreed upon yet. That hasn't led to an agreement yet.
definitely. But at the end of the day, it's the union that's negotiating this, and if the union is not accepting the deal, it's because the majority of these players don't approve of it. The
I
the
think
thing that the thing that
I think
worries
the
me is that this is signaling that the next CBA is going to be a war. And don't be shocked if there's a lockout or a strike.
strike or lockout. Yeah, but I think just like anybody, the union is concerned about getting these players their money.
Hmm.
So the union could be fighting for majority pay, and there could be a majority of players that aren't going to dispute that because they're players, but that doesn't mean that they wouldn't have agreed to the 82 game
Yeah,
proposal.
yeah.
It's tough, man. It's when money's involved. I think that everybody can have like different motives.
It's crazy, man. And in preparation for this and after learning this, I did some research of prior CBAs, which we're hoping to make some videos about maybe in the future. And for the majority of the time, so first and foremost, baseball was the first sport ever to agree on a CBA between a union and the league. And since that was in 1968. From then until about the players' strike in '94 that canceled the season, so that's almost 30 years. I would say that almost every CBA involved some sort of lockdown or a strike, and the one in 1981 ended up, the season ended up being, I forget how many games, but they didn't play basically from June to August or something. It was like 2 months of no play. So I don't want to get back to those times. I was telling CT before we got on that we're kind of lucky that we grew up in a time where, yeah, we had the strike of '94. I was 10 years old, so I remember there not being baseball, but I remember it not being that big of a deal. Um, Other than that, it's been pretty peaceful for the most part.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that this next one's going to be ugly. I have a feeling that it's going to be ugly. And that's going to
Possibly.
suck. That's going to suck, especially after this. It's going to suck because I think baseball lost a lot of fans during this. If the next CBA turns out to be a complete shit show, um, it could be worse. And
Yeah.
baseball might be dying soon, man. What the fuck? Don't kill my sport.
Don't be surprised, man. I mean, all good. What's that law? The entropy law.
Empathy?
Not empathy. I don't know what the law. I don't know what the name of the law is, but
We'll cut this out. Don't worry about it, man.
anything that can go wrong will go
Will go
wrong.
wrong.
All good things must come to an end. Stuff like that. That's an actual law. You know.
And maybe some other league will take over. The KBO's super popular right now because of this. Although I don't think Americans want to get up at 4 a.m. to watch a game, but
But if there was a market for America to watch something, they would make the exception because we love sitting on our asses and watching shit.
it's like tennis, right? People get up at the ass crack of dawn to watch Wimbledon and shit.
I didn't know
And a
that.
lot of MLB players have transferred over to the KBO. And we have a writer called to the pen, Yusef Diaz. Shout out to Yusef, who's connected with a lot of Cuban players, like elite Cuban players. And a lot of them go to the KBO. There's a lot of them that don't come to MLB, who have elite like talent.
Wow.
Um, and they're getting opportunities over there, and maybe they don't have to deal with all the fucking buscones and all the international bullshit that they have to go through
Hmm.
with MLB. So, you know, who knows? I hope not, because I love baseball. I don't think it will happen. I don't think it's ever gonna get. I mean, if hockey survived its strike, I think baseball will be fine. There just has to be some changes, man. There has to be changes in baseball. Maybe this is a video for another time, like 10 things that MLB needs to do to save the game. You know, it needs to happen. And Rob Manfred kind of took on the responsibility that he was going to be the guy that improves pace of play, that adds technology, and he's done a lot of that. But there's a lot to be done still. I still think there's a lot to be done.
Yep. Like it's funny
So
how pace of play was like the biggest issue for the
yeah,
last
and
like
I mean,
five
you know what else
years.
too? I think some drama needs to be encouraged, man. I think
Whoa,
not
whoa,
not
whoa,
that I
whoa,
want to be
whoa,
a
whoa.
conspiracy theorist, but think about this. In the early 2000s, when the Yankees and the Red Sox couldn't stand each other, that was an event. Watching a Red Sox Yankees game was an event, not just for Yankees Red Sox fans, for the world, not for the world, for the United States. Like, it was, all their games would always be on Fox and shit, so everybody could see it. I think there has to be a little bit more of that. Like, I know that in the NBA everybody's buddy buddy and stuff, and in MLB too, but let's see more bat flips. Let's see pitchers go high and tight and brush batters back. Let's start seeing that again. Like, I don't think people are gonna give a shit if the game is 4 hours, if they're getting an entertaining 4 hours. But if you're getting, you know, you're gonna, again, I'm turning around on some things that I believe in. But if you're getting 4 or 5 innings where 15 hitters are striking out, that's not entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, let's bring back the steal. Let's bring back the bunt. As much as I agree, and analytically those are dumb things, it's entertaining. And at the end of the day, this is an entertainment business.
I think I believe in the baseball gods, right? And I think that us turning our backs on these superstars that entertained us during the 90s and the early 2000s, we spit in their faces, accused them, stripped them of their accolades, all this crazy stuff. And I think that if baseball came together and apologized, it would be like coming out of this drought of just back to back to back bad news in our face, kids' dreams being crushed. So I think baseball gods is a real thing. They're out there. I believe in it, and I think a nice good old sacrifice like apologizing that where you were wrong. It's not too late. It's never too late to apologize. And I think that would spark things up. As far as the drama goes, just give me competitive baseball. Period. If they got to
You
take
know what?
steroids to do it, just give me competitive baseball at the
You know
highest
what
level.
else? I hate to say this, but you have to say, let go of your older fans at this point. Like, I think the average viewer for MLB games is like somewhere in the mid 50s. And that's fine. I'm not saying like fuck you, boomer or whatever. I'm just saying let's move your attention to the future, because the fans of the future, aren't getting your attention right now. So maybe older folks don't like, you know, bat
Home run,
flips and all that shit.
the home run derby to finish a
Yeah,
tie game.
fuck it, man. Institute these rules because it's about the future, man. It's about at the end of the day, it's about the future. And if you're a real baseball fan, you're gonna evolve and learn to love the game in whatever form it takes. And it's happened
Yeah.
before, so it could happen again.
Yep.
So, all right, I think that's a good place to end it. CT,
Nah, I'm good.
nothing.
You covered it.
All right. I'm Manny at MannyGo3 on Instagram and Twitter. That's Luis at Hovamojo on Twitter. Follow the show at WT The Show on Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, rate, review on the podcast. That was just like 20 favors we just asked you to do. Pick one of them and do it tonight for us. Please, just pick one. Either rate, review, like, comment. Those are it. Recommend to a friend, stuff like that. Like that? All right.
Sure, man.
Peace out.
Peace.